What's up, everyone? So I came back on here for a part two. I got so many messages asking me where they can find the answers that I went over when I did Black Girls in Media IG Live last week. And unfortunately, I don't have the footage of that, so I just saved the questions that a lot of you guys had sent over to Black Girls Media. They sent it over to me. I screenshotted them. And so I'm going to go over about 8 questions that some of you have missed. It was a great IG Live. The response was amazing. I'm so glad that I could actually help a lot of people who had questions. So let's just jump right into it. Question number 1. What has been the most challenging experience in my field? I think the most challenging is that the lack of work. We're all looking for our shot, our opportunity, especially if you want to do in front of the camera. It's not that many, and honestly there's a lot more male reporters in the entertainment game than there are females. So I think if there were more more job openings for women and reporters, as well as more opportunities. And I would say another one is you have to make your own opportunity. So that can be another challenge, because you're going to be sitting there like, whoa, what is it that I can do? What can I bring to the table? So know what you have to offer and make that your selling point. So those are definitely challenges that I face. And question number 2 is, what was your fave interview? My favorite interview had to be when I went to California and I got to interview Issa Rae and Regina Hall. It was my second press junket, and the reason it was my favorite was because just the entire weekend was amazing. And then I got to interview Issa Rae and Regina Hall. Like, what more does anyone else need to say? And I felt like I had such a special moment with Regina, and then I got to interview her again at the Shaft junket. I made so many great memories. I learned so much. That was actually one of my first big press junkets. And I felt like it was something that I can pat myself on the back that I handled really well, that I learned from. It was an amazing opportunity that my mentor gave me. Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite interviews. You have a bunch of interviews that you do, but when you have your favorite, they live with you forever. Yeah. And definitely it was my little press junket had to be my favorite. Question number 3 asks, if you have no idea about how to get started, where is a good place to begin? Honestly, places like Black Girls in Media, if you look for pages with women of color, women in media, and it doesn't even have to be specifically for women. If you're just a male who's also looking for an opportunity for Black men, you can just look for Slacks. Look for Slacks as in group chats, look for Facebooks, look for LinkedIn groups. There's so many groups for minorities, and there's so many support systems. You would really be surprised where you can find opportunities. I know Black Girls in Media, again, they have a group chat, and you have to become a member, but that membership really helps you in the long run. There's so many opportunities. There's people networking, ideas flowing. So I would say to look within social media. I would say to look into Facebook groups and social media groups, and look into small markets, small media outlets. You can look for social media magazines right now, or online magazines. You just have to get your foot in the door. Start somewhere. I always say, it can be uncomfortable. You may not want to be specifically in one position at the moment, but sometimes we have to do things that are uncomfortable to get us to where we want to be in the long run, at the end of the tunnel vision, if you get what I'm saying. So I would just say start small, look for smaller outlets, look for a position that can somewhat align. It may not be the position you want, but hey, if it starts somewhere and it gradually grows, it can open doors to get you to where you want to be. Number 4 asks, where does your coverage live after a press junket? So after a press junket, depending on what media outlet you're with, your press junket can either go online to their actual website. It will be on their Instagram, their Twitter, their blog, whatever media outlet platform they use. Usually mine will end up, I have had them on Instagram, YouTube, Global Grind, and that's really about it. My Twitter, LinkedIn. So you have to just, it's going to go wherever you, your media outlet is going to be. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. So if you're going to be with an online magazine, most likely your coverage will be on their Instagram and their Facebook. And if they have a website, most likely they will, then that's exactly where your coverage will be seen. Number 5 asks, what resources helped you advance your career as a Black woman? I'm going to have to say opportunities just within the source. Being a Black woman for their media outlet, them giving me opportunities like Black Klansman Red Carpet, interviewing Angela Yee and Lil Mama and Nick Cannon. Being able to use that for my reel as well as put that on my resume opens doors for other opportunities that followed after that. And again, you can use support groups and chats like Black Girls in Media. That is a great way to start as a Black woman in this industry. You network, you make so many friends, you guys can be creative, collaborate together, exchange ideas, as well as people drop opportunities in there. If there's a red carpet coming up, if there's a reporter needed or a producer, a writer. Because again, there's so many opportunities and positions in this industry. It's not just on air. There's people who want to be the number one producer or I don't know, already have shows in their head that they know are going to be big. So there's so many positions. Sorry if I'm rambling, but once you put your foot in the door, once you network, it starts small, you will get there. Number 7 is, how do you strengthen your bonds in order to get opportunities? And I would say you have to be genuine. You can't be an opportunistic. Keep valuable relationships by checking in. Right now, there's quarantine going on, so you can definitely be checking in on people, seeing how they are. But again, not being opportunistic. And just being yourself. I mean, I've made real genuine relationships by being myself. And if we clicked, we click. And if we didn't, then I guess we didn't. But I have been able to just network and strengthen that by just being myself, making friends with the people that I look up to, and not using them and literally cheering for them when they're winning, and being genuine, because I don't want anyone who needs my help or who looks up to me or who would want to collaborate with me to be a leech, or I wouldn't want them to just use me for whatever they need and then just bounce, because that can happen. So I would just say be genuine, be real with it, be a friend. Also, help out any way you can. Ask them, offer any skill sets that you have to help them, and I'm sure it'll really strengthen the network. And my last question is, I have a lot of experience and I work in Atlanta as a producer, but I'm having a hard time finding a position as a talk show host. We all are, honey. Sorry, but we all are. It is, like I said in my first question, there's not many opportunities in the field. You got to make your own. Be diligent on the search. You know, like I said, use Slack, use Facebook groups, Twitter. There is, I think I said LinkedIn. There's Black Girls in Media, Instagram. You would be surprised how many industry and media platforms actually post job openings. Like I know Black Girls in Media does on LinkedIn. There's a reporting on air feed or something like that. Sorry, I can't really think, but they will open, they right now are posting jobs that are open, and there'll be positions from APs to writers, and you just really have to be diligent on the search. And also, this goes back to some of the responses that I said before. You may not want a position, but if it's gonna lead to where you want to be, then to take it. And I'm even saying that for myself, because I'm kind of in that ball. We just have to work with what we're given, and along with that, keep making steps towards where we want to be. So if you're not getting that job right now as a talk show host, why don't you make your own talk show? Why don't you post your own reports on your social media? And then that way you actually have things to show to people at work, like, hey, this is what I do. This is the creativity that I have. And you never know where it might take you. So again, I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched the Black Girls in Media IG Live with myself, going over so many questions about the media industry. And yeah, thanks for even like wanting to get to know my answers, you know? So I appreciate all of you guys, and there will be many more. Stick around.